this is Dan Farisi, Group Director of Content and Editorial, Industrial and Tech at Emerald. So happy to be joined today by Ben Hardy, Senior Product Manager, Large Format Displays, and Zach Arneman, Associate Product Manager, Software and Solutions, both of Sharp Imaging and Information Company of America. Topic of conversation is, of course, InfoComm 2026. It is merely hours away at this point. Everyone is psyched. We can't wait to get to Las Vegas. And one of the reasons we can't wait to get to Las Vegas is to check out the latest from Sharp. You'll be able to find the Sharp showcase at the Oasis at the Las Vegas Country Club, and you'll also find one of their most impressive new solutions in the BrightSign booth, C5301. Thank you so much, Ben. Thank you so much, Zach, for taking time to talk to me today and giving us a little preview to get us excited about what we'll see in just a few hours from now.
Yeah, thanks, Dan. Appreciate the time.
Thanks for having us.
My pleasure. So why don't we get right into it? What did you see in the market that inspired your team to integrate this BrightSign SDM solution into the M series?
So first of all, what we did is we really have always admired BrightSign as a company, what they stand for, their professionalism, their long-lasting products, and what we recognize is that they now have these SoC type of solutions in their Series 5 and their Series 6 players. And so we thought with our SDM slotting capabilities that it was sort of a perfect combination of their hardware and our hardware. And so what we've done is we've essentially integrated their XS156, which is a Series 6 player, into our displays through the SDM slot. And so, this allows things such as audio, video, power control to all be internal to the product. And really, I think it's a combination of two great companies, right? I mean, here at Sharp, we were NEC, or we were Sharp NEC, and we're Sharp now, right? We've really sort of hung our hat on really long-lasting longevity for our reliability of our products. BrightSign kind of has those same type of capabilities. That's what they stand by too. So it's really a marriage of the two companies and the two hardware and the two hardwares coming together that I think really makes sense out there. And on top of that, BrightSign is not only great to work with, but they have extensive CMS compatibilities, which that makes sort of our products a lot easier to work with when that's something that a customer is looking for when they're looking for something specific, for example, for the project. And we've had modularity in our products now, dating back to 2005, 2006, something like that, when we had the original slot one. It was our NEC slot, and then we sort of evolved that to the Intel OPS and now the Intel SDM. And we've always had sort of that mindset to be able to allow the customer to mold their product based on their needs and their applications. And what I think we're missing until now was really this type of high-end media playback that BrightSign can give.
It's a fantastic answer, Ben. Really informative. I'd like to probe just a little bit deeper, though. You did mention, for example, it's almost kind of like a marriage of two companies, a marriage of two hardwares. Is there anything else that you would add as far as why it makes sense from a company perspective, why it makes sense from an industry perspective?
Yeah, I think our companies really what they stand for in the industry really aligns, right? And kind of joining the two sides together to sort of put the best of the best and the best of the best, kind of combine it into one. We want to make sure that we always put out reliable product, right? And so what this means for us is that now we can have the same type of like warranty structure, for example, in place with our product as with the BrightSign product, and we can move forward, really support, kind of hanging our hat to that and standing behind this product just as we would with any of our normal large formats that are out there. And I think that from an industry perspective, Sharp has always been seen, and NEC previously, and BrightSign has always been seen as really commercial high end. So yeah, not to kind of talk about it too much, but it really just made sense that we brought our solutions together, and then we're able to not only provide it to the market, but also the extensive portfolio that Sharp has. So we can support this product now from 43-inch all the way up to 98-inch, right? So it's basically like we're adding a whole new line to our product category. And it took a while through the years, really through the joint venture, to make sure that our product portfolio was streamlined to the market, right? I mean, through any joint venture, right, with two big Japanese companies coming together, there's a lot of question marks at first, right? And we've done a lot of engineering and a lot of product planning to make sure that our product line moving forward is very easy to follow and very easy to understand and position. And what we're combining the BrightSign product with is for really the whole gamut of our product portfolio in that size range in our most high-end product, because that's where it makes sense, right? And so yeah, I think that I think the industry is going to react positively to it. There's many features and benefits that we bring the customer, really when it comes to what they get, what they can kind of save a little bit money on now, and really how the product functions when you boot it up. And so yeah, I think it really just kind of made sense.
Does seem to make sense to my eye and to my ear, absolutely. And I can understand why you expect the channel to be excited. And I'd love to bring you in now, Zach, to get even more granular about exactly that. The benefits integrators are going to get, the benefits clients are going to get, the problems the solution solves, essentially what underpins all that excitement we can already feel in the air.
Yeah, so I mean, the integrators, they get a huge bump because the BrightSign SDM reduces complexity with installs. Whether you're hanging one panel or a video wall of 26, less cabling, no data runs, not having to worry about two sets of power runs. So from an integration standpoint, you just slot it right into the display, power it on, and you don't have to worry about anything. Ben, correct me if I'm wrong, you can also do one LAN cable and it'll work for the display and the BrightSign SDM. Yep. So instead of having to run two data runs, you get one. So it really makes the whole installation setup a lot easier. Not to say that a built-in or a standalone BrightSign player was extremely difficult, but like I said, if you're doing an installation with dozens, if not hundreds of screens, it adds up. From a client perspective and a customer perspective, not to downplay it, they're getting the BrightSign player that's tried and true that they've been used to. For all brass tacks, there's not much difference between the SDM and a standalone, but you can slot it in. So if a customer is worried about any sort of extra steps or runs, it's nice and easy, and they get the CMS platform, they get BrightAuthor, they get everything they've come to expect over the years, and with the added benefit of a Sharp display, you can daisy chain that signal out to up to 9 displays. So obviously it would be all the same content on 9 displays, but one BrightSign player and a few HDMI cables later, you've got your kiosk in your hallway setup or your conference room or what have you. So I think it's the beautiful and the poetry in its simplicity, to quote the G.I. Joe cartoon movie from '86. It just works. The Sharp displays just work. The BrightSign player just works, and now they just marry right into each other. And I think everybody's going to be excited about it.
Absolutely. I love that. I love the G.I. Joe reference. So extra points for that. So Zach and Ben, as we close out the interview, I'd love to hear any other offerings you're exceptionally excited about ahead of InfoComm this year. Again, we're only hours away. What is making you especially stoked to get among your team members, talk to the channel, talk to your partners, talk to integrators, and show everything that you've been working on?
There is a lot that I'm excited about, from the displays to the software and hardware solutions. And if I had to pick one, because there's more than one, but if I had to pick one outside of the BrightSign player, I'm really excited for people to see our Raspberry Pi SDM solution. We've partnered with Halo AI accelerator chips, and I don't want to give away all the fun parts, but you can get pretty decent computer vision at a very low wattage at a very low cost. And me personally, I think Raspberry Pi is slept on a lot in the United States, and I'm excited for people to see that the little Raspberry Pi can do a lot more than people think.
And Ben?
Yeah, we are offering this BrightSign solution in our current M series, and I mentioned the sizes before, right? 43-inch and then up to 98-inch. But what we're doing from a display perspective is that we're also building and essentially supplanting that chassis, and we're sticking it into our next generation DVLED all-in-ones, right? So we're going to be showing the 165-inch at InfoComm this year, and it's going to have all the same capabilities as our current large format M series products, right? And so what that means is that we're going to have compatibility with this BrightSign SDM and the Raspberry Pi SDM and every other SDM out there. Because from a featured function firmware perspective, it's going to be the same as all the large format displays in even larger sizes. So we're doing a lot of work to, again, and I mentioned this before, kind of streamline our product lineups. And we're going to have essentially the same product capabilities, product portfolio from 43-inch all the way up to 165 when you add those all-in-ones in. And it's going to be the first time that we're showing it in the US coming up at InfoComm here, right? We did show an early version of the sample at ISE, but we're really excited to sort of get that going as well, because I think, making sure that customers understand that features from one size all the way up to the top is very important, right? When integrators go out there and they're setting up screens, they don't want to mess with different settings here and there, whatever it is, right? So having that simplicity, right, to make sure that everything aligns all the way up and down the lineup is really exciting for us. Not to mention, DVLED is a huge thing, right? It's a huge trend. It's a huge focus for us right now. And, coming out with the next all-in-ones is something that we're really looking forward to.
I'm looking forward to it as well. Always excited to see the latest from Sharp. And that is why I'm going to be looking forward to going to the Sharp Showcase at the Oasis at the Las Vegas Country Club, as well as to see you in BrightSign, booth C5301. Again, thank you, Ben Hardy, Senior Product Manager, Large Format Displays, and Zach Arneman, Associate Product Manager, Software and Solutions with Sharp Imaging and Information Company of America. I will see you in Las Vegas. My name is Dan Farisi. I am Group Director of Content and Editorial, Industrial and Tech here at Emerald. Please keep your eyes on commercialintegrator.com throughout InfoComm week, as well as post-InfoComm for all of our insights, analysis, and coverage, including from top industry suppliers like Sharp.